The U.S. government is shut down as of 12:01 this morning. It's out of money because Congress cannot agree on a funding plan.
This is the first government shutdown in nearly 7 years. The Congressional Budget Office estimates about 750,000 federal workers face furloughs. However, Social Security benefits will continue regardless of the shutdown. The U.S. Postal Service operations are also not interrupted.
But people will see some impacts from this. Our Caitlin Ashbaugh joins us live now with how the shutdown will affect federal disaster relief funding. Caitlin.
Nigel, Sydney, we're told that Democrats and Republicans in North Carolina, they're frowning on the continuation of a prolonged government shutdown. They believe that this could hold immense weight against ongoing recovery efforts from Hurricane Helene.
Just a few weeks ago, lawmakers gathered in Washington to push for a continued federal resolution. It would include $22.5 billion in disaster recovery funding. Representative Chuck Edwards at the time pushed for Governor Josh Stein to use his influence from the Democratic angle to keep the government funded, calling the idea of a shutdown a, quote, atrocity.
Right now, the focus in Washington, D.C. ought to be keeping the lights on. Paying our military, paying our Border Patrol, paying our TSA agents, restoring tourism in national parks and Blue Ridge Parkway, and serving the people of Western North Carolina, not playing politics with their futures. And unfortunately, that's where we're at right now.
Stein tells us 9% of the total damage from Hurricane Helene is covered by federal support. The governor announced on X this afternoon that operations from FEMA would not be impacted by the shutdown, saying, quote, "We cannot afford for dysfunction in Washington to disrupt this critical work," end quote. His office also offering us a statement, quote, "The governor is concerned about the impacts of the government shutdown on North Carolinians across the state, particularly when it comes to rebuilding Western North Carolina. That's why he's calling on the Office of Management and Budget to exempt all Western North Carolina recovery efforts from the shutdown. The people of Western North Carolina cannot afford delays in recovery efforts, especially as we head into the fall tourist season," end quote.
Caitlin, does Edwards believe that the exemption of that funding is even possible?
Well, City Edwards says that they're working around the clock in Washington to provide those exceptions for this funding, but he says because much of the funding is governed by law, the OMB does not have a lot of flexibility unless it's in the case of emergencies or if it is a situation where there's the potential loss of life. We did ask Edwards if he thought this would be a prolonged shutdown and similar to the $11 billion cost that hit the U.S. economy in 2018 with that previous long shutdown, and he said that this is the first time he's serving Congress. So like many, he's waiting to see what exactly will happen here, and he's at a loss is what he told us of what to expect next. Reporting for WYFF4, I'm Caitlin Ashbaugh.